Hey, third graders, it's Mrs. Linderman. We're going to look in our math journal today and talk about something called order of operations. So if you can flip to page 149, remember you can pause the video anytime. Order of operations. What is an operation? You know that in math, and I'm going to zoom in, the operations that we work on, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? Those are called the operations. We're not talking about surgery. I've said that before. Okay, and in math, there's a lot of rules. You've learned about the associative rule, the commutative rule, the distributive property, right? Lots of different ones. The zero and the identity rule. So lots of math rules, and this is another one. Order of operations. And what it says is that you have to do the operations in a specific order. Sometimes there is more than one operation in a math expression. So let's take a peek. So here, this expression, remember, an expression does not have an equal sign. If it has an equal sign, it's called an equation. So this one has subtraction and it has multiplication, right? Let's take a peek here. What would we get if we subtract first and then multiply? So just like it's written here, if I have 10 minus 3, I know that's going to be 7. And then I'm going to do 7 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. So I'm going to write 14 here. I'd like you to write the same thing. What do I get if I multiply first and then subtract? So I'm going to rewrite that expression right here. Let's multiply first. 3 times 2 is 6. And then I still need to subtract that from 10. 10 minus 6 equals 4. Well, those are two very different answers with the exact same numbers, right? The operations, nothing changed. We just did it in a different order. So to make sure that everybody in the world gets the same answer, we have to follow this order of operations. It's a rule, okay? So doing that, whether you're in the United States or you're in China or you're in Australia or you're in Canada, everybody knows that we have to do it in a specific order. That way, we all get the right and the correct answer, okay? What the rule tells us is that we have to multiply and divide before we add or subtract. So multiply or divide before we add or subtract. So which one did we multiply first? Right? We did that in number 2. So this is the correct answer. This is the wrong answer. All right? I wrote something at the top that I want you to copy down. This is something that you will use your whole mathematician life, and I'll explain what it means. It's an acronym where we use the first letter of a word to remember something. So this says Pemdas, all right? The P stands for parentheses. The E stands for exponent. We will not use exponents in third grade, but do you remember when I told you we were working on square numbers and I said 3 times 3 because it's the same factor? We could really write it could be the same thing as writing 3 squared, right? That means to do it 2 times. 1, 2. This little thing is called an exponent. And you'll do more of that in 4th grade, okay? But I want you to know what the E stands for. In 3rd grade, we won't use that. We do use parentheses in math. So we have to do parentheses first. If we had exponents, we would do that. Then we have to multiply, divide, add, or subtract. Right? So you have to remember the order. And you really just need to remember, I need to multiply or divide first before I can add or subtract. All right, so let's get some practice down here at the bottom. Let's look at number 3. It says 5 plus 4 times 2. Well, I know I have to multiply or divide first, then I can add or subtract. So really, I have to do this part first. I have to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. And then I'm going to add that 5. Okay, if I have 8 and then I count on, I'm going to end up with 13. Now look at number 4. Here are parentheses. Remember, the parentheses are the very first part of that PEMDAS. So if I have parentheses, if I have hugs around numbers, I have to absolutely do that first, even though it's subtraction, right? These parentheses tell me this is the first thing I need to do, even though there's multiplication here. So 9 minus 3, think about what that answer would be. You can count from 3, put that in your head, count up to 9. You're going to get 6. 6 times 6. Ooh, those factors are the same. That means my product is going to be a square number. 6 times 6 is 36. I wonder if you're getting really fast with those. Okay, even though this had multiplication, those parentheses are the very first things I have to do. How about 8 divided by 2 plus 2? Remember, you multiply or divide first. So I'm going to divide 8 into 2 parts. That would be half of that. 4 plus 2 more is going to get me 6. Okay, you try number 6 on your own. Pay attention. I see those parentheses. That says do me first. 8 minus 1. That's 7. 6 times 7. Ooh, I know 6 times 6 is 36. I'm just going to add 7 more. What would that be? I said 7 more. 6 more. 42. 6 times 7 is 42. See how that square number helped me? I already knew 6 times 6, so I'm just going to add another group right here to get 6 times 7. Okay? So thinking about the order of the operation, what we have to do. Okay, we're going to rewrite this statement at the bottom. Let me move my camera for you. Okay, and we're going to turn that into an expression, okay, or an equation. We have to look at the words, and we have to think about the symbols. It says add 4 and 3. Add 4 and 3. 4 plus 3. And multiply the total by 8. So if I have to total these up first and then multiply, I better have some parentheses around that if I need to do that first. Add 4 and 3 and multiply the total. My total is 7 times 8. Okay, because I had to find the total of those, that was my clue that I needed to put parentheses around that. So 7 times 8, we're getting better with our 7s and 8s, but they are hard. 7 times 8 is 56. I even have to stop and think about that. Let's try rewriting this one. Multiply 3 by 8, so 3 times 8, and add 4 to the total. So I know I have to multiply first. I'm just going to add 4 to that total. I don't need parentheses because the rule tells me I multiply or divide before I add or subtract. So I don't need parentheses here. 3 times 8 is 24, but you're getting good at that. Plus 4 more, it's going to be 28 altogether. All right, so here's another math rule. The order of operations, right? And remember, if you see parentheses in an expression, you've got to do that first. Otherwise, you do multiplication and division before you do addition and subtraction. You're going to need to memorize that rule because you're going to be using that until you're done with high school. If you go to college, you need to know that rule. All right? You need to be a mathematician today and every day.